Hello everyone and welcome to another review. Today we're talking about another flathead earbud review, and that is this earbud right here on my desk. This is Moondrop Nice Buds. I've been meaning to review this thing for a while now. I've been getting some requests about this thing for a while and some videos, and it's been on my radar and I've been wanting to get it. I purchased it a while ago and it took a while to get here because of the holidays, but it's eventually here. I've been using this thing for the past few days. I think I could say about a week now, and I have some thoughts on it. And now that I mentioned that, also Merry Christmas, a late Christmas, and Happy New Year to you. I hope you're gonna have a great year this year. It's been kind of a hectic, crazy year this last year, but hopefully this next year is gonna be better. You're gonna get a lot of earbuds. You're gonna expand your collection, and I hope you have a great year. So, this is a really interesting earbud because it's not only a new earbud. I don't get to do those a lot. It's also an earbud from a very famous company in the IEM area, right? It's one of the very well-known, respected companies, Moondrop. And well, Moondrop has been kind of having a history of flops with their flathead earbuds. Well, not really flops, but they can't really figure it out. So can they eventually redeem themselves with this one? That's been the question that's on everyone's mind. And yeah, it's Moondrop. They have a lot of resources, and we all wonder how they're gonna do. And I suppose that's what's all the hype that's been about. But this thing is kind of on budget set. So before we talk about it, before we get into like purchasing this thing, we have to set our expectations. The price on this thing, I purchased it for around €10. So depending on where you are in the world, it's going to be around the same price range, like 10, $11. And as always, I'm going to put the link to where I purchased this thing in the description. It's not an affiliated link. Just want you to see. I just want you to see that what product I'm exactly talking about. So none of us are confused. So before we talk about the sound on this thing, I want to quickly go through the accessories and the physical characteristics of this thing. So this is the packaging that it came with it. And as you can see, it came with this kind of plastic, if you remove it, behind it. And it came with these papers, some quality certificate, and with an extra set of foams, as you can see, and some, well, propaganda papers. And also, Moondrop, what the hell? Where's the anime girl, right? Am I not gonna add another anime girl to my connection? Okay, that's kind of your brand. Moondrop always puts the anime girl card in there. So I guess we haven't paid enough to get one of those, I guess. So, another interesting thing about this thing was that I think this was the first time that I've seen an earbud come with the foams pre-installed. As you can see, the foams that these things are, they just was already installed in the packaging, and when I pulled it out, I didn't need to put the foams on, and that was really interesting. And as always, obviously, it came with another set of them, and they're like decent, nice foams. So there's no any other accessories, there's no carrying bag, and there's no extra set of like different kind of styles of foams. But as always, I want to mention that even though if in other reviews I might not mention it, I always try the earbuds that I review. I always try them with like the foams, and I have different types of foams. I have the more dense ones, the thicker ones, and the thinner ones. I try them with different kind of full foams. I used donut foams. You know, it's this foams that have a circle in the middle, it's a hole in the middle. And I use it without foams obviously as well all the time too. So if I don't mention anything about them, it's because that it does not sound great. And the fact that these things came with the foams pre-installed is that shows that Moondrop really wants you to use the foams with this thing. Because when I removed the foams on it, well, it did not sound good really. Like, yeah, it was just like very thin and shrill. It had zero body to it, so yeah, you really have to keep the foams on it too. I also tried it with the donut foams, and it was okay. And it was kind of similar to how it sounds with the full foams, but a little bit worse. So it was a little bit of a more wild, more savage treble, you could say, untamed treble. So it wasn't generally overall. I think the best kind of use case with this thing is to use it with the full foams. And yeah, that's the impression that I got. So let's do a quick review on the physical characteristics of this thing because I find it really interesting. So let's do a quick review on the shells over here. As you can see, this is a very unique chassis that Moondrop has developed and used, because I have not seen this kind of chassis and shell used in any other earbuds. So if I remove the foams on it, you can see it comes in two different kind of versions. It has a clear transparent color and it has a black color, and the black color is not really black. It has a tinted smoky black kind of color to this translucent kind of plastic body. It's, I don't know if it is acrylic resin or is it like a plastic. It's very, very light. The combination of this chassis being super light and super small, actually, this is a very small shell, which I really like, with this cable that is this really simple, thin, rubbery cable. It's super thin, as you can see. And yeah, it just is very simple, small 3.5 millimeter headphone jack adapter, connector, sorry. It does not come with any other, obviously, no 4.4 balanced, nothing else, just this one single version, obviously, as you can imagine. And yeah, I find this chassis design to be really, really beautiful, and more important than that, as you can see, it's super clear and you can see the components and the driver in there. You can see the driver right here. Yeah, and more important than that, how beautiful it looks, is just that it has a really great fit. This is one of the best fitting earbuds that I've ever used, right? It's one of those. I wouldn't say it's very, really up there. And like, it's special because generally earbuds are very comfortable overall, and this is one of the most comfortable earbuds, even between all the other earbuds as well. So I thought that deserves a shout out. That's a really great, well done job. You might think this kind of stem is gonna be really annoying in your ear, but it's really not, because when it sits in this area, and this head sits kind of deep inside your ear, so it doesn't really leave this part to protrude out a lot. So it goes kind of in, and also it kind of sits at an angle, so like this. So it's kind of flush. So this part could protrude out a little bit, but I found it to be generally very comfortable. I can't sleep with any earbuds or IEMs in my ear, but if you're a person who can, I think you could use it. I think you can work it. Maybe not. Still, I find the Apple earbuds to be more comfortable because, it doesn't have this kind of shell. But yeah, this is also really up there too. It's really comfortable, and it's because it's super thin. And this is a very deep fitting head, as you can see. Like, when it gets inside your ear, no matter how hard you pull it around, it just doesn't fall out. It really gives you a snug kind of fit. Sorry, and I think that's really good design on their part. So yeah, that's everything there is to talk about the physical characteristics. And I suppose, oh, I do want to mention that I really like this design. As you can see, this has this two-step kind of head, so the foams sit really well, and they have this very good fit with the foams, and that doesn't happen with every other earbud because they kind of like fall around, and it's kind of a headache to put it on some other. It's not that big of an issue, but it's really easy to put it on these things because it has like an area really designed for the foams to sit. It has this indentation, and I find that really, really good design. You can tell with how they came with the foams pre-installed. Really, Moondrops wants you to use these things with foams and just not think about it without the foams. And yeah, I would prefer other companies to just, if they tune their earbuds to be mostly preferable with foams, to just make it so that the foams are in the part of the design too, just not just something that you throw on there. It's an afterthought. You should design the earbuds with the foams in mind. So I think that's a good thing about this thing. So that's enough talking about the physical characteristics and accessories, and I think there's nothing else to talk about but just talking about the sound signature over here. And well, the sound signature over here, I would generally describe it as neutral. I was kind of tempted to call it neutral bright and neutral mid, but it's not that. It's mostly still neutral. And the issue Well, the point that I want to make is that when there is a earbud or some device that you say it's neutral bright, it means that there's some kind of focus on the treble area, right? But this thing, I wouldn't call it that, because the only thing is that this is general neutral, but with the bass pulled down a lot. So it gives it kind of a bright kind of sound signature, but it's not really bright, right? Because there's no emphasis or special tuning or focus done on the treble or the mids. It's just that the treble is so pulled back. I'm sorry, the bass is so pulled back. Those areas are, can be seen more by you, can be felt more by you. So yeah, I would still call this thing a thin, kind of a neutral sound signature. Because if I call it a bright neutral, kind of a little bit of a bright neutral, it's not really bright. Doesn't mean that there's any emphasis on the treble. It's just that the bass is gone. So if there was any term for that, I would call it that. And that would lead me to talking about the bass over here. And honestly, the bass over here is one of the weakest part of it, part of this earbud tuning, because there's not a lot of bass on this thing. In fact, this is one of the earbuds that have the least amount of bass that I've ever used, right? And that's not necessarily always a bad thing, but the bass, I suppose, it's okay, right? You can still hear it, and it's really, really pulled back in the mix. It's really not prominent. There's no enveloping, there's no warmth or volume to the bass. There's no details, there's no attack, but you can hear the plucks, and you get some of the impact, but you get some of the details and the plucks of the bass. You get it too. So you get a little bit of the bass line, enough of it so the music doesn't fall apart, and that's okay. So there's nothing really to talk about if it's in the soft bass or mid bass or how it's working with the high bass. Not really. It's just generally okay bass. If that's not something that they're not focusing on, so I suppose that's what they were going for. And that leads me to talking about the mids over here. And the general consensus that I had, general impression that I had with this earbud was that it's not really doing anything special in any kind of area. And that also translates to the mids too. The mids are not really outstanding, but they're really good. The thinness of the bass at least makes it that the mids, as I said, mids and treble to shine a bit more. So it gives the idea of it has enough good clarity. Like if you remember, I reviewed those like my super ultra budget earbuds that I talk about, like the Caber and the Vito buds. This has more clarity than those, so that's a good thing. And overall, generally, I think technically the mids and the treble, it just performs just how you expect the $10 earbud to perform. It's not outperforming its price range. It's an okay mid presentation over here. It has enough clarity, but it's not the most clear thing. So don't worry, these things are gonna make more sense when I compare it to other earbuds in different price ranges, so you can see how it's gonna sit with the competition. But for the mids, it's good. Honestly, it's just it's clear enough when you watch videos with it, you listen to some music, you're not bothered that, oh, it sounds muffled. It sounds clear, but it's not belty, it's not detailed necessarily. It doesn't have any kind of thickness or warmth to it. It doesn't have like a special kind of tonality. It's a very neutral tonality. It's not really warm. It's not really like a detailed, bright kind of a mid. It's not really focused on the high mids. No, it's not forward. It's alongside the treble towards the front, and the bass is in the back, right? And that's the general mix that you're getting with your music, and that's good enough, right? There's no emphasis on it, so it's a kind of decent mid. And I could honestly say the exact same thing about the treble on this thing. The treble on this thing is okay again, right? It's not the darkest thing. Actually, it's not dark. It's not really bright. It's not really trying to go for something detailed or like super airy. It's not airy, right? There is treble into it, right? But it's not focused. Again, the treble is very neutral. It sits at this like very inoffensive middle ground, that there's some details to it, some treble. It's nice, but it's not really doing anything extra. It's not going to give you a lot of details, and like with gaming you're not going to get a lot of details, but you're going to get a good amount of it, right? There's good amount of it. It's not a dark treble. There's some details. It's just not that crazy. It's very inoffensive set, right? It's very neutral, as you can imagine. And yeah, there's no special inconsistency, at least in the treble. That's a good thing. That's a good point, because there's no peak on it. There's no peaks in the treble that's like bothers you in some kind of frequencies. Not really. Maybe lower treble. No, I wouldn't say so. It's just that when I try to increase the volume to get some amount of bass and like hear the bass, like how is it real? What's the quality of it? I just get welcomed by the treble, and treble gets a little bit peaky towards the lower treble, but that's not really an issue. It's really not one of the most peaky ones out there, so it's really not a bad thing about this set. So it's just that there's not much bass to hear. And yeah, and towards the higher frequencies of the treble, not really. It just has a consistent, decent roll off. And there's not a lot of, honestly, I fiddled with the EQ and this thing, tried to like do the, I don't know, I tried to do the bass shelf. I got a little bit of an increase in bass, but it just ruined the mids. Not completely, but it just like ruined the mids a little bit and made it muffled a little bit. So I would just like go back and roll it back to the default tuning on this thing. I didn't find anything to be savable with this tuning to like make this better. I think it was this set, and even with the bass, like I got more amount of bass, but I feel like the driver was not able to perform really well. I was not getting the impact that it should have. Just the design. I think this is not something that has a potential to do better. I think this is achieving the potential that it was designed and given, and it's performing it to that its potential, and it's just not doesn't have that much potential, more potential to be unlocked by the tuning. Maybe I could improve it by like a 10%. When I fiddled around a lot with the treble, it does not give you more details. Doesn't matter how much I increase the treble in some areas, try to mess around with it. I was able to get more amount of forwardness to the mids. I like that part. If you want to, upgrade it a little bit and you want to use the equalizer, I guess you could you could add a little bit of forwardness to the mids, towards the 2.5 to 3 kilohertz area. So, well, other than that, the default tuning is pretty decent. So that's my general impression of the sound signature over here. Let me know if there's something that I didn't mention with the sound signature in any different kind of area. There's, as I said, the general impression is that it's really just neutral, decent set. It's not really outperforming. It's not trying to achieve anything special in the treble. It's just enough. It's not dark. It's very inoffensive mids and treble, and a very a very pulled back bass. There's not a lot of it. So let me talk about some comparisons so you can see how it sounds like. The first comparison that I want to make, you might think it's kind of unfair because this is the Apple Earpods, and Apple Earpods are around like $20. I'm not sure the price on these things, but if we take that like for being the 20, so this is kind of double the price, and it might be unfair. And I guess, yeah, sure, but at the same time, it's not like this is 100 and 200. It's just like a $10 difference. So I guess you could make that different comparison. And especially I want to make that comparison because I found the tuning on these things kind of similar, but not really. It's just that the only other set that's going for something neutral and specifically like special in this price range was the Apple Earpods. The Apple Earpods have a general neutrality tuning with a focus on the mid frequencies, right? I wouldn't call it just vocal forward, but it's just mid focused, mid forward. It's not about the forwardness. But when I would A/B test, go back and forth between these two, I could definitely hear like a lot of improvement. The sound signature generally was similar, but the improvements were like really noticeable. immediately with the mids, when I went from this thing, I got a lot of clarity, and when I went back from this to this thing, I got a little bit of muffledness. It's just not that this sounds muffled, especially compared to other stuff in its own price range around $10. This is one of the clearer mids, but this thing I think had clear mids. Immediately you could hear it. And it's not like an insane level of clarity upgrade, but still it was a noticeable upgrade in clarity. And same with the treble, you could hear the treble was immediately more over here. You were hearing more details, like with the snares, and same thing with bass. So if you take this thing, you boost it, like make it, I don't know, more competent, obviously if you double the price you're gonna get this thing. So maybe that would make it obsolete, because this one wants to be cheaper. So I'm not doing this comparison to make it that this is a bad set that is not performing as this thing. But again, at the same time, I feel like this is something that exists a lot, and a lot of people have access to it. So if you already have this or heard this, there's nothing else that you need to go for this thing. It sounds like a weaker version of this thing, the Moondrop Nice Buds. I would say a worse version, because this is more detailed in the treble. There's a bit more bass, and this is not even a bassy set, so the bass on this thing is kind of okay, right? But this one has definitely more bass than this thing. Not very crazy amounts, but yeah, noticeable amounts. Same with the mids, right? Does this make it as a bad one? No, actually, I've actually used this thing a lot. I have it on top of my bed. I always reach this thing because it's super thin and light, just like this thing. I think makes it a really good choice too if you want to spend 20 bucks, or if you don't have access for some reasons. But this is a really interesting thing, at least for something that you can like throw around in the back of your bag, for some like your beater earbud. That's how I use it. I use it like when it's at night and I don't want to reach and like use something, I don't know, it's just on top of my bed, and I just reach it and I use it to listen to audiobooks and videos and stuff, and it sounds really good with those. It's clear enough, it doesn't bother me, and it's super thin and super light too, so it gives me a lot of confidence to use it. It's comfortable, it has a great fit. It's like, especially the fit, if you want to move around, as I said, the fit on this thing is really great, and so is with this thing. But this thing snugs more in your ear because of the design of it. So yeah, that's the comparison that I want to make between these two. Especially, I just wanted to say that if you've heard this thing, if you have this thing, I don't think there's anything that you're gonna get extra over here at all. So this is a better version of it. It's the first comparison I would like to make. But well, the next comparison would be, well, I don't have it. Just imagine this is the Yincrow X6. This is nice HDK 30, but I don't have that set anymore. I gave it to my friend as a present, so I don't have that set, but I remember how it sounds, and I want to compare these two, especially because they both come at the same price. I believe Yincrow X6 is around, again, $12. I'm not sure, the prices always change, but for these two things to be at the same price, I would honestly say that unless you want something very neutral and something very light and snug and comfy, it's just that Yincrow X6 would be a better choice, because, well, the issue is it's a better choice. It performs better in the bass, especially in any other area, the mids and the treble, but it's the thing that it's not giving is that it's not giving the comfort and the thinness and the lightness of this thing, and the neutral tuning that this thing does. So if you want something neutral, there's nothing really else to recommend to you in this price range, unless you go for the Apple earbuds for twice the price, 20. But if you don't really care for some neutral sound signature, definitely I would say Yincrow X6 would be very more impactful. The bass is huge, there's a lot of bass on it, it's really good bass, it's impactful, it's strong, it's more musical, it has enough clarity, it has more treble presence, it's doing a lot more, it's trying to overachieve, and well, you can go watch the review on it on its own. So I would say if you don't want these things that I talk about it, the neutrality of the sound, the fit, the lightness, yeah, definitely Yincrow X6 would be a better option. If you want the neutrality and the comfortness, you want an upgrade, I would recommend you go for this, the Apple earpods. but again, that's twice the price. So again, if you want to opt for something cheaper, half that price, this is a real decent choice too. You could definitely go for it. So there's like a very niche kind of area of the flathead earbud market, which is also a very small and niche area by itself. So I don't know who is this for, a very small fraction of people. And compared to Yincrow X6, I would say, yeah, Yincrow X6 would be a better choice. Technically, in any other area, sound signature is more energetic too, right? And honestly, there's a lot more other options to review and talk about and compare in this price range. But I mean, if I were to do that, I would be here like talking about them, comparing them for hours. So I will end it right here, and well, maybe I'll do one more mention. Again, I don't have that earbud right now because I've loaned. Well, I gave it as a present to my girlfriend, but I'm gonna make a dedicated review on that too. Like Fransun Jane 3 YD900. I think that's the earbud, and that earbud again, 12 bucks, around the same price, and that thing is very much performing better than this thing. So the point is that this is really not a value kind of earbud necessarily, but there's a small niche market too. So if you really want to get the best bang for your buck, I would say, like, yeah, look elsewhere. This is not that set that's gonna overachieve and do something crazy. It does some special things with the design and the neutrality so of the sound signature. So yeah, if that's your thing, if you're that person, I guess I could recommend this set to you. So overall, in conclusion, yeah, I just kind of made that conclusion, honestly. And this is the niche person you are. If you are this niche person that I described, this set is for you. Otherwise, this is not really a great value at its price, and I kind of honestly kind of set myself up for failure because I had more expectations from Moondrop, because they did great with the design. Like, they have obviously the resources to develop this kind of specific kind of chassis, and I would like them to do more in this with this category, some like Moondrop earbuds. So this is a good set for this price, but I wanted to make something more competitive, like how the Yincrow X6 and the Fransun YD900 Gen 3, they're like really overachieving and competing. I want Moondrop to do something like that over here, but I guess they're not really spending a lot of ton of resources on research and, you know, fine tuning of the sound signature over here. But hey, I guess the general conclusion would be that these are nice. You know, this is just like the nice guy that you settle down with, right? Because it's not really interesting. They're really nice. There's no flaws with it necessarily. It's kind of doesn't have a lot of energy in the bass. It just doesn't do anything that harsh in the treble or in the mids. It's a nice guy, but that's kind of boring. If you get the idea, it's just that it's not doing anything special. It's kind of boring, and especially for the price range, it's not really giving you a lot of value. But hey, still, it's nice, right? It's a nice bud, pun intended. So yeah, that's my review on this thing. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to compare this thing in the comments. Anything else specifically that I didn't mention. There are more earbuds in this price range that I have coming that I will review very soon. I have another very interesting earbud coming, and yeah, let me know if there's anything about this set, the sound signature I forgot to describe, any comparisons that I forgot to say. If you have any questions, let me know and I will try to answer you. I will always read all the comments, obviously. And I will see you in the next video soon. So take care and goodbye.